Welcome everybody, welcome. Delighted to see you all. I'm Amanda from the CPD Standards Office, the co-founder and chair, and delighted to welcome you to another one of our series of webinars, very much focused on marketing. Just saying welcome to everybody as they come through the waiting room.
Morning.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, good morning. So today we have Margaret from Red Button Marketing and Training, and she's here to talk to us about giving purpose to your marketing overall. So we just have a couple of simple, straightforward housekeeping rules for today's session before we get started. By all means, use the chat to introduce yourselves, but please don't self-promote. We'd like to keep this session focused on almost like a CPD session for yourself. So do tell us where you are and where you come from, but please don't promote. We'd love you during the session to raise any observations, any thoughts, any ideas, and after Mags has delivered the session, we will be having a Q&A. And then finally, if you have any specific questions outside of today's session and theme around your membership, around assessment, etc., then my wonderful colleague Kirsty Walker is here on hand. She'll pop her email address in the chat for you to email that through to her. So I'm going to hand over to Margaret, or Mags as she's more commonly known. Sorry?
The friendly name.
Yeah. So having founded Red Button Marketing and Training in 2017, she's also recently founded a tech company. In fact, they're lined up for some awards tomorrow evening, which I'll leave her to tell you more about. And we're very proud to have her as a member of the CPD Standards Office. So over to you, Mags, to talk to us about marketing and how we can make the most out of it in 2022.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Honestly, I'm super excited to be here, and I may have met some of you in an event in London that I came to, but good morning to everybody, and I really appreciate actually you taking the time to come along this morning, because I think these kind of sessions are so worthwhile actually, and I think marketing as a topic, I'm particularly passionate about it as a part of a business, and it is great to share this morning with you. But as I say, I really appreciate your time because it's such an important area. So I really hope that you enjoy this next hour, and absolutely, welcome questions and discussion around this. So, so thank you so much, and it is lovely to see you. So I'll just click through. There you are. Right. Okay. So just the only slide I have today that is even slightly formal is this one. So I just have to put it out there just to say, look, thank you so much for just a little bit of respect of brand on this one. What we talk around, we have Red Button Marketing and Training, and when we deliver our training workshops, we feature a process that's called My Marketing Button, and that just does have IP with it, and so we just kind of highlight that. We talk more about it in the full workshop, but I'm just putting it in there today just so you understand that if I mention that, that's what it is, but that's my other company, which we'll talk around a little bit as well. But apart from that, that's the formal bit. There you go. So what I'd like to do, first of all, is just to get everybody thinking in terms of what you actually think marketing is. And it is a really important, or might seem straightforward, but really important question. And it is the starting point. Now, we'll have, I know, questions at the end. If you feel as though you want to put something in the chat as to what you think to this, please feel free. If anyone would like to shout out what they think marketing is, again, unmute and share, because I'm always interested to know what it does mean, to you. Has anyone got a thought in their mind right now? If I ask that question, what they consider it to be? Anyone feel like they'd like to share?
Hello, Mags.
Hi.
It's Bernadette here from.
Hi, Bernadette.
I'd say connecting with the customer and subtly but effectively selling your service or product and yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a really good summary, Bernadette. And there's a word there you used, the first word, and I loved it, which is connecting. That's a lovely word. We might use that word a bit today. to be honest. No, good description. Anybody else feel like they, thank you, Bernadette. Anyone else feel that they've got a thought or answer or anything for that question?
So we've got a couple of comments in the chat, Mags. Julie Johns says it's the shop front communication, sharing information and values. And Nikki has commented that marketing is the activity which lets my audience know I'm here. Yeah. And I think for me, I always think about marketing as being the sales message, the brand proposition overall. That's sort of my view of it.
Yeah, it's interesting because here we are having this conversation this morning about this M word, and I always find that really fascinating, how it can vary from person to person. And just, I think when we're in business, and some of us today may be on our own and sole traders, some of us may have other people working. So I guess, and today we've probably got all kinds of different shapes of businesses, but really something shouldn't change. I think primarily, and let's really start back at like kind of the beginning here, really, which is what marketing kind of means to us as business owners, regardless of our shape and size of organisation. There's got to be a common goal. There has to be some kind of baseline that we all know, because we say the word logistics, we all go, yeah, well, we know what that is. Warehousing, well, we know what that is. Accounts, well, we all know what that, all of a sudden you start looking at other businesses, departments, and I know there's a buzzword at the moment, silos, this whole silo, you talk around all this, but yet the one word when we say marketing will always get a different definition because we all have a different take on it. But if in a business, let's just say for a moment, there are more than one person in an organisation, if they need to achieve something, but everyone considers it to be something different, to me, that immediately throws up a little bit of a slight anomaly, because then we're all trying to achieve something, but we all consider the very thing that's going to be different. So I think that's why we are so passionate about starting to add purpose. But by doing that, we need that clarity around what it is. Everyone is right. Everyone that's spoken and said today, we're all kind of right. So, but where is that common denominator? Do you know what? And I think it's, when you take a step back, it's quite an interesting thought. And, that's a really good place to kind of start. So that's why we like to spend a few minutes on that. And, and it is all in the thinking. It's what we think about. It's how we view it, how we consider it. Like this amazing thing that goes on in a business. What is it? What does it look like? Because it's going to be the thing that's going to give if we talk about purpose, we need that clarity around what it looks like for us. So, for example, here we've got, look, how do you currently look at purpose in your marketing? Let's just, and hey, we're all here with solutions. We love it. But actually what's really healthy is to pose some questions as well. Because I think this is what, and I, again, thank you for being here today and opening our minds up to just considering something new and looking at something differently. It is in the thinking. So for a moment, take a step back and think, right, do you have a plan? Do you actually have a marketing plan? Good, it's an important question. If you do you review it? We know from our research, having been involved in this arena for many years, that it's quite common that people have a marketing plan and it's then on the shelf and it gathers a bit of dust. We've seen that. Or no, I've heard people go, no, I don't need a plan. I'm not a big enough business. I don't need a marketing plan. No, we just crack on, not bothered. Get all kinds of feedback. And this is all genuine stuff that's been said. So, we've just to kind of quickly just give you a little bit of a background into what I've done before, just to kind of add a little bit more weight, maybe I think, to this slide. And my background, I started out in hospitality. So I worked in hotel management for some time. I actually then worked in recruitment, and it was very much matching of people and solutions, that sort of journey. And then I was a marketing manager for a professional services firm for 20 years, and I set the department up. So I really do get it when you have to start something from scratch. And then I've also now set my own business up and developed a training program and got the tech. But what really is in my core, if you like, is the importance of that, Bernadette, connected thing. I think this is where we're coming from. Do you know what I mean? That's what our passion is, and that's how we get that purpose. So I just wanted you to know that, so you can see my background as to where I've got to today and why this is so important. It's because we've seen it, and I've lived and breathed it, you know, having to start and develop and maintain. So when it comes to these questions, these are things that I've kind of seen in practice happen. So, you know, do you have a plan? You know, do you review that plan? How at the moment, how are you kind of measuring the time you're spending versus what your goals are for your business? I mean, do you know what your goals are? Now look, these questions, I'm just putting them out there. I'm sure some of them and most of them, you're probably going, yeah, we know this, you know, you have that, but it's healthy to check. It's a really good marketing housekeeping. If there's more than one of you, you know, are you all on that same page? You know, what is that page? You know, our job's clearly defined in terms of where you're getting the best from your team. If you're just on your own, you know, how are you finding it kind of wearing lots of hats? You know, are you sticking your marketing hat on once a week, or is it on the coat rack and you're not really getting your marketing hat on too often because you're busy doing you know? It's these sorts of things. I totally get it. I understand. If you've got an idea for your business, how are you currently facilitating those ideas and kind of making things happen? I just want you at the moment to kind of look at these questions, think about that, and just think where you sit right now with these things. Because as business owners, we all have challenges. I think what's quite interesting with us and our own business, it's kind of crazy really, because we're living and breathing our very own process. We kind of have a process, we do the process, and we train in the process, you know. So these things are things that we share with you, you know, we understand. So there's challenges. What are those challenges? Do you feel at the moment that you're on course to achieve the goals that you've set for your business? You know, what are your goals? And these are really key questions. And at this point, my question to you that kind of really brings that together is, right now, do we think by looking at these questions we've done any marketing? Well, we have. Really, this is how we start. This is where the purpose, because that's why I've put that title there, is how are you currently giving that purpose? Because that's exactly where it needs to start. Because why do we do anything? I really, you know, it's fascinating when you start looking at a bit of the psychology. There's a lot of psychology. I don't know if there's any psychologists here today, but there's definitely some psychology in all of this, because marketing is very much about all of that. But people, I say, you know, why do you do that? Because we do. That's an answer we've heard so many times. But we do it because we want results, don't we? We do. We do things because we want an outcome. I go and buy a cup of coffee because I want to sit somewhere really relaxing and enjoy a nice cup of coffee. You know, simple things, but we do it for reasons, for improvements, for lifestyle, you know, for happiness. That's why we do anything in life, really. You'll see where I'm going with this in a second, because when it comes to marketing, you know, I think that it does bring with it some ambiguity at times, people, and it's difficult to align purpose if we've got a bit of a not clear thought about what. So we've got to understand, like, why do we do anything? We're doing it for these reasons. And actually, if you think about business, well, we want business results, we want outcomes in our business, we want improvements in our business, don't we? And actually, don't we want to just like really enjoy our business and kind of have a good balance of everything and be happy? And we do, really, we want all of that. You know, why are we here today? I think, you know, I mean, I wanted to meet you all, say hello, but we probably all came today with some purpose in mind. That, you know, could be many things. So just, you know, so I hope you can see that we're really keen to kind of open up this thinking, and it's so healthy. But just for a moment, I thought I'd share just a couple of quite different slides just to demonstrate this point in everyday terms. So, you know, we get in our car. I drove my half-hour journey this morning, and you know, we do things automatically. We do things, don't we? We're all like this, I'm sure. You know, I mean, although having said that, I have actually set off before and got a little bit down the road and thought, crikey, I haven't got any fuel. But anyway, we get in our car, we have to do some checking. We don't just get in our vehicle and go to where we need to be. We do follow a process. We do. We have to get it MOT'd, insured, we check our route, make sure we've got fuel. There's water in the washer thing, you know, everyday stuff. We're doing these things. On the subject of holidays, I'm sure if you're going away on holiday, if you're anything like me, you probably tell your friends all about it. Don't we get excited? We do. Tell your friends about where you're going, the restaurants you're going to check out. You know, I check my tickets a million times. Is my passport in the right folder of my handbag? You know, my gosh, I do so much. And I haven't even got on holiday. So, you know, I'd love to rock up to the airport with a pair of flip-flops. It would be rather exciting. However, I'm possibly not going to have the best experience because I may be chancing my arm a little bit if I don't really do the pre-holiday prep, you know. And we don't run our businesses with our eyes shut, you know. These are everyday things, work, home and play. And I just wanted to just feature that to demonstrate how much we plan things without realizing we plan it. It's true. If you take a step back and think about things, we do it because it's automatic. It just becomes second nature. It really does. But there's a common theme there. There's some structure we follow, there's some processes we follow without even realizing it, where there's some communication going on, and it's because we want a great outcome. I want to enjoy my holiday. I want to get to the place I'm going to in my car. Why on earth would I not make sure I'm organized and on track for that? You just wouldn't, would you? You just would. These are everyday things. So in terms of marketing, it's no different. It's absolutely no different. And I think that's why we asked the question early on, what you consider marketing to be. Because in our training workshops, which are 2 to 3 hours, and we really drill down into the detail. And what I found in many cases is people consider when it comes to marketing to be the activity. We consider it to be the activity. Absolutely, it's part of it completely. However, that activity is so much more effective when supported with a plan. And this is where we start thinking about the purpose, because that's what makes a difference. So you think back to the holiday, the car, you know, these things, they're just everyday examples of the things that make us all happy, you know, to get to our destination, to have a lovely holiday. That's probably why everyone works, I would imagine, to, you know, and it is about that, because that's what will bring that purpose, you know. So it's really important to consider using that support framework for your marketing. And that's where we start looking at, and that's why we're here today, to talk around this purpose, because that's what will drive it forward. And I've put this slide in, but to be honest with you, there are probably like millions of benefits. We could probably go on, we could sit here and I'm sure spend some time and you'll tell me benefits of a framework. You know, when you start, the more you think about it, the more you think, well, hang on a minute, this is really going to help with this and this and this. I've highlighted a few, and I've featured the picture on the right there, because you know what, when people construct a building, I mean, I'm no construction company. I'm not about to build you a house any day soon, I can tell you, honestly. If I did, it'd be the house that Jack built, whatever, the straw thing, whatever, I don't know, that's taken me back. But you have to have something that will keep your structure stable. It's the same. You know, you do. People, you have to support the structure. So that's exactly what's important with your marketing, is the solidness of the support structure that will help you. So that will support that vision, because I'm sure as business owners, you have that vision, you have your goals. We talked around that before, you know, that where you're wanting to go, what your aims and your objectives are. So you need a framework that's going to support you with that and underpin. You actually also want to kind of get cracking probably. I mean, I'm a little bit of a so-and-so and we're all different, but I'm a little bit of a sleeves up, let's get on with it kind of gal. And, you know, and I know it takes all kinds to make a business and we're all different. But it is great if we can sort of speed up some parts of this. And it's really that have that coordination and focus is so cleansing for the brain as well. It really is. I mentioned to Amanda actually just before we started this morning that literally this morning, okay, I had a situation with a client, and just I'll try and sort of summarize this as briefly as I can to equally sort of demonstrate how effective it is when you do have something to support you. So we have this business, this guy's delivering a service, he's on his own. He has taken another guy on to co-deliver this service. The other guy, he's an experienced production manager, and he is actually going to do a little bit of interim management. That's not really quite what the main guy offers. So there's this little bit of like, right, how are we going to structure this? So they've kind of got two different arms of the business, but the main guy is having an issue with where does it sit with the brand, you know, so we've got all this kind of, there's all this stuff going on. And then I said to the second guy this morning, I said, you know what, when you think about what you're actually doing, and he knows about our button formula, which is what I'll talk about in a second, but I said, when you actually drill down what you are really doing right now and align it to a framework, all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, I'm doing this bit now, I'm really clear. So I understand using a framework what my next step is and why I'm doing it. And all of a sudden, we kind of condensed a half-hour conversation into like about a minute. And all of a sudden, we both had this moment of like, this is so clear, you know. So it was really timely, it was this morning, and I didn't set out to have that conversation necessarily about that, but just to show you, and when I explain a bit more as I go through, you'll see what I mean. And that this morning was a perfect example of having something that we could align our activity to. So you see what I mean? It instantly meant and put us both on the same page, and it was great. It was like a moment. So to have a framework, it helps you set your goals. It helps bring some measurement to what you're doing. But like again this morning, that allows for you to innovate, because you're going to want to innovate within your business. You're not going to stand still. Of course you want to. I'm sure it can be innovation. It's not necessarily guys in a lab with white coats, you know. The smallest things can be amazing that you do in your business. That's innovation, and it's having that path to follow. We want to drive results. So this is where, you know, this is the whole key to this. So, you know, this is marketing strategy and your framework, and you know, we're really passionate to share some of this with you today, and we want to get to that place where we have some discussion. So this button thing that I talk about, okay, so it's unbelievable what is packed in to a button, and I want to share with you. I just want to also say to you that it's not a button because I happen to like buttons. It's red because I like red, but it is a button for genuine reason, honestly. So if you imagine your business is a coat, and you put your business on every day, what is keeping the business together at the front, driving you forward? The very thing that brings it together, that brings all the departments together, this thing we're trying to define, and we were talking around what it is, it's here, there, it's at the front, it's the button, and you need to keep it in place. That's why it's a button. So just so now, there is some method in the madness. So how that button looks is like this. We have 4 buttonholes. These are the profiles of your business. We have your clients in the top left, people you work with. That's it. In the right-hand side, these are your potential clients, maybe your referrers, people that are really lovely and ambassadors for your business and send you referrals, but they're not your clients, but they are supportive, and your prospects, they're packed in there. So it's made up like this. And then we have your offering, your products, your services. That's kind of everything, like your brand, that's you, that's what makes you amazing. It's the little things that you might not think are important, but they really are. That's your business character, your business personality and identity, everything to do with you is packed in there, okay? And then we have how we communicate. So I think even by now we can see, by breaking it down in this way, we're all immediately moving away from any concept that it's marketing is purely telling somebody something, if you see what I mean. So we're broadening our thinking around how this all looks, and starting to show you just the significance of the process of marketing within a business. And that doesn't need to be overwhelming or complex or beyond the realms of someone who's a sole trader, because I've had people who are one person business go, I don't need a plan, I haven't got the time. And we're saying, do you know what, you really can, it's okay, you know. So, and like I was saying before, regardless of size of business, when we show you a couple of these connected, Bernadette used that word, connected threads, you'll see why it applies to all businesses, whether you're 1 or 1 million people. So what we want to do is start to show you how you can kind of build this for your business and start thinking today in terms of your business. This is about you. Today is about your purpose and your business and your next steps. So we want to explore these buttonholes, as we call them. And this is the main key profiling of what we want to do. And that first one of your clients, I think when we do our, like our full workshops, and again, I say to people, do you think we've done any marketing? And at this point we're going, yeah, we really have, because it is this knowledge and intelligence that we have around these 4 profile areas that starts to build our purpose. That's absolutely essential. And you may, and I'm sure absolutely that you will have this information. I'm not for a minute saying this is information you don't have. I'm sure you do. But it's like anything, it's where we apply the knowledge that we have in order to achieve, going back to that slide about outcomes, in order to achieve those outcomes that we are seeking, if you see what I mean. So we're trying to get these logic steps. So when we look at the client's buttonhole, we want to say, well, how well do you really think you know your clients? So where are they? Where are they located? What's going on in their business? Do you know that? Do you know what's going on in their sector? Are you gathering that? What are their challenges? Where did that client actually come from? Because I know this, I put that in caps, and we have this conversation about, do I put capitals? Because it looks like I'm going, oh, but I put it in capitals because it's amazing how easy it is to not get that information, and the importance of knowing where your clients came from. It's so key. When I worked in the accounting firm for like 20 years, I think at one point I said, have we actually looked to see where the business came from in the last 12 months? And when we did that exercise quite formally, and after that we then applied it every year, or more regularly than that, but all the time, we found that we were probably going to lunch with people that maybe weren't giving us work, although that's a good thing because we can encourage that, but we were missing some people that were. We were like, oh my God, we've just realized that so-and-so actually gave us 10 new jobs and we hadn't twigged. It's sometimes as basic as that. So knowing where it's come from is really important to support you moving forward. Again, I'm sure you're doing it, but hey, look, this is a good also a bit of marketing housekeeping morning as well, and I hope you're getting that, which is great. How are your clients feeling? Do you know that? Again, these are not things that are going to take hours, but it's important to know. And what are their plans? Just those bits of knowledge, bits of information, really important. So that's an exercise that's good to do and gather that. Do the same with your prospects and referrers. Who are you targeting? Where are they? Where's their location? Does that matter? What's their business? Is it consumers? Is it business? Where are you getting your data from? What data have you got? How are you storing it? These sorts of things, really important. What's the buying cycle of these prospects? Because that's really key to know. I've dealt with some clients where, like with the accountants, people it's not going to change it every week. It's a different kind of relationship building, whereas other people will buy a pen every week, but they're not going to change their accountant every week. So what's the buying cycle associated with the people you're targeting and how you work? What's the life cycle, you know, of a client for you? Is a client, depending on what you offer, start to think around what you offer and, okay, so what's that journey? You know, these are really good things to take a bit of time and consider what your prospects' plans. So we've moved on to our products buttonhole. At the moment, we're just doing these buttonholes. We're just profiling. What are we offering? What are the key services you've got? What makes you amazing? What makes you you? What's your identity? Drill down and look at what's going on in this products and services area. We've called it that because it's kind of it's sort of what you offer, but really it's all about you. Okay. And you've got to think about what you're targeting, who you're targeting with which of your products and services. I think it's really great to just focus on a couple of your key services or products. It's okay. We can't sell everything to everyone. We can't promote everything to everyone. I think it's good to have focus, but we equally think you know your business better than anyone, and I'm quite sure that you'll be able to decipher what of your offering is the best to promote, but you can change it. And I think it's really empowering to remember that as a business owner, you have that power to change it. That's okay. It's fine. It's called innovate. It's okay, you know, and that's fine. I think it's, and who looks at that? And I think that's really taking ownership of where you're going and what your strengths are and what you can deliver. And then the final buttonhole, as it were, is communications. And there's a lot packed in here. And I think this is perhaps where a lot of people, we tend to, our brain when we think marketing goes to probably here, really, which are the forms of communication that we can take. And I always think it's really good to keep it manageable and clear in your mind, to break communications down into people, print and digital. It's just an easier way to maybe manage it. You know, and see what you're doing in each of those categories. Are you coordinated with what you're doing on all of those? You know, I know I throw some examples out there, but when, like with working in the accounting firm, we've got people out networking at events. Are they saying this? Are they on page? Are they saying the same thing as we're delivering in emails? Are we saying, is there a tone in our email that we're just not using that tone when we're out? Are we, do you know what, it's just making sure that our communications are kind of on point and we're all on that page and we understand, and it's just that clarity within our own business. And then it's all the different forms of content, which we'll come on to kind of in a second, but that's that communications element. And I think once you've got those 4 areas clear in your mind, and that might literally only be you taking half an hour with a cup of coffee to kind of map that out. Again, when, you know, it's just having that information. Can I just ask a quick question and see if anyone wants to kind of maybe shout out? But in terms of where people are now with your marketing, and we've kind of explained those 4 profile areas, does anyone consider it to be something that's been a bit too overwhelming, or just something that they're not looking to do, or what people's thoughts as to where they are now and how they feel about the sort of marketing? Anyone want to share? Where they are? And any thoughts on how I've kind of displayed that process?
Can I share or ask a question or share a thought?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Honestly, marketing scares me.
Yeah.
And it is very much about show up. So that's how I see marketing, because it's all very well having product services and do what you do, but unless people know about it, then it's pointless, right?
Yeah.
So where I'm coming from is because I've got different services for different target audiences. That's where I start to get a bit confused as to, because they're different people and different services. So I kind of, I suppose, get a bit overwhelmed, kind of how much time should I be spending on each particular product or each particular client.
Yes.
And you know, and I suppose it comes back to what you were saying about having a framework, having a plan.
Yes.
And then allowing that, being quite disciplined in terms of, because nobody's saying to you, you've got to do this, this and this now. It's
Exactly.
up to you. It's up to you, isn't it? When
Yes.
you're employed, it's easy because you've got boom, 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 you know what to do.
Exactly.
And you're making it up as you go along, to be fair. So I suppose for me, it's the overwhelm and actually knowing how much time to spend in each.
Yeah. And do you know what, Sarah, thank you so much. Can I quickly ask what your business is? Beg your pardon.
So okay, so my business is coaching and development. So
Right.
I do coaching, training, development. Yeah.
No, that's great. No, I appreciate that. And I think, thank you. Yeah, and that's why I just wanted to pause for a second and just ask that question. And I appreciate you sharing. Thank you, because that's exactly the vibe we've had. You know, when we open up this discussion and we get to this point, it's a case of going, right, how do you feel right now? Because I really get that. I think this is where these challenges come in with marketing, because it can just be like, look, crikey, you know, I've got to do so, I've got to do that because so-and-so down the road said that's the latest thing. Well, I do, you know, and so-and-so's, and all of a sudden you just think, you know, it's easy. I really get that. And that's where I think our passion for going, do you know what? It's actually amazing, and we can make it straightforward and not feeling like that, you know. So yeah.
Julie Johns has just raised her hand
beg your pardon. Sorry,
ask
Julie.
a question or make a comment. So Julie, do share.
Yeah, thank you. You've just really helped me, actually, because my marketing challenge is I'm really struggling to sell my online webinars, and they're live webinars. And where you say, don't, you know, if you keep doing the same thing and you keep getting the same results, well, every single time I'm trying to do something different to see what's going to click. And I think something has clicked, and it's where I'm putting up programs that are so similar to what other people are doing. And I think what I need to do is just change the focus of that. And instead of putting up my whole webinar course, change the focus for it a little bit and call it something else, and just do it as a half-hour intro.
Yeah.
So they have a free half-an-hour intro in order to be able to then decide whether they want to come on to the you know, 1 hour or 2 hour course. And so what my business is delivering, addressing domestic abuse in the workplace for employers. So there's so many free online courses out there, kind of like recognizing the signs of domestic abuse, or because mine's slightly different, it's focused on helping the employer to address it in the workplace.
Right. Yes.
But what I'm thinking now is that I should call it reducing risk of domestic abuse in the workplace, or implementing domestic abuse policies, rather, and that's slightly different.
Yeah.
To what other people, you know, I'm not going to get lost, hopefully, in a whole range of other organizations delivering the same thing and them delivering it for free, whereas I'm not delivering it for free. But I could do if I just brought it down to a half-hour introduction.
That's right, absolutely, Julie. And I think that's a really good point. And I think we'll demonstrate when we show a bit more of this process, and we're showing a little bit today. But what that is, it's very much that kind of, I use the word brave, but maybe that's, I don't know if that's the right word, to just be that focused. But it's actually drilling down into the reasoning behind what you offer, but how it can affect them. So when you said employers and you do what you do, and all credit to you, because that's an amazing thing. It is about, actually, I think there's also a bit of a thought leadership thing here, is do they actually realize that that's a really important thing to address in the workplace, and not to be scared of the subject. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's some real thoughts around how you could do that, and that's worth exploring. And that will come into, and I don't know if it's on this slide, but I might be a bit cheeky and show you an extra one just so we can cover that.
All right, thank you very much.
You know, so Why not? We're all friends. But thank you for that, Julie, because that's exactly where we're coming from. Make it straightforward to be able to move forward without feeling, oh my Lord, what do I do next?
Yeah.
So in terms of next steps, because we're saying, look, you've got these 4 things, you've brought profiles, we call them buttonholes. Got these 4 buttonholes, you've created that, but you can change it. So like with Sarah and Julie, you can change it. In all of you, you can do that. It's okay, because like I said, no one's telling you, and Sarah was saying that, no one's there going, right, do this now, do this now. You have that ability to be able to be flexible. So now we've created the button, it now needs some activity. We've got to do something. We've got to bring these buttonholes together, okay? And it comes down to you or the people in your team, the tasks you undertake, how you're using ideas and how you're solving challenges. And it's that magic bit is how we're threading that together, how we're keeping this at the front button, moving our business forward, because we want to bring all these amazing courses and things that you're delivering, all these wonderful training opportunities to your audience, bring it at the front and push that forward. So what I've done today is share with you a couple of examples of what I mean by the threads, so I can see the steps. So our first bit is we profile those 4 areas in such a way that we've got this information. The threads do not budge, okay? These threads don't change. And this is the powerful bit, because and I will probably leave you with a few things to think about, but I do want you to have a think about this as you go forward. You read articles, right, from some of the global companies, okay? And actually, if you read those articles, like in the marketing from Coca-Cola or the marketing from Burger King or whatever, and actually you start, because we know our process, I love reading them, because when you drill down into the detail, I bet you any money it's one of these threads, and we're just going, that's kind of really that thread. So regardless of size of business, okay, surely every business wants a client to refer you, don't they? Do you see what I mean? And a testimonial. I mean, who's going to turn that down? You want that. So when we talk purpose, okay, what we mean by purpose is activity within these threads that will help you to achieve that. That's what purpose is. Because so we're all running around doing loads of stuff. Well, I'm doing so-and-so because Bob at the pub said it's a good idea and I'm going to do that. And so-and-so said, and I'm going to, all of a sudden we've got to think, I'm doing it, but why am I doing it? Why am I doing that again? For what reasoning is this? How is this connected to my goals, to my aims, and it's just giving us that. So to define that purpose, we've defined it like this. So you're going to do some tasks and some activity because you are looking to achieve referrals and testimonials. You are going to be doing some tasks and activity within your marketing activity that relates to client sales potential. And what we mean by that is we have these clients. So we have these clients that are buying from us. So Julie, you have some people who have had a webinar. Okay, that's great. So how long ago did they have the webinar? Right, okay, so if they bought that webinar that I did in January, when do I consider them to be a non-client, or are they still a client? This is what I mean. You've got to think about that. Think, right, well, hang on a minute. How long is a client? Or do they move and become back to being a tech? What's the deal here? You might figure that out for your business, yourself, and you'll know. But if I did a webinar with that guy in January on that domestic abuse thing or whatever, what other webinars have I got? Because I might just email him and go, Bob, I'm now delivering a webinar on blah, blah. I thought this might be right up your street. Are you doing, do you see what I mean? So we're doing an activity, but we know why we're doing it, because we want more business. I haven't invented upselling. I'm not here to say that, not at all. We know it's a thing, but the real beauty is when we're doing all these amazing things, but we're connecting it. Because with a formula like this, these threads they are activity, they're actions. It's things you're doing, going into another buttonhole. So remember, what goes into a buttonhole will affect what leaves it. So all of a sudden, we're doing our client sales potential. We're taking our clients, we're bringing them into our products. We're trying to offer them more. What that's also helping us do is continue to innovate within our products. Because we've got, remember the profiling we did? We never stop profiling those 4 areas, because we want, those are the 4 baseline areas that we start with. Do you see what I mean? So hopefully this is showing you what we mean around that. Okay, and I've said here, look, the tasks you can do are probably endless. And I think, you know your business is better than anyone, and there's a raft of things you can do. But it's about selecting the activity that aligns to these kind of 12, we have 12 threads, as we call them. Because you might find that you're really, really busy doing what you think is loads and loads and loads of marketing. But if you actually align it to a framework, you go, crikey, I'm actually doing 3 threads. I'm missing a trick. So all of a sudden, we start to think I could save loads of time by actually increase my results by kind of sharing this activity across different threads and making sure I'm connecting it. So it's just making best use of your time. So come back to what you said, Sarah. It's is making that use of time, knowing what to do next, having some kind of roadmap in front of you that you can then start to follow and start. So if anything, something is helping pull you in a good direction, if you see what I mean. So it's down to people. So who's doing what? If you're one person in a business, and I said you've got hats to wear, right, which hat am I wearing? What bit am I addressing? What part of this framework am I looking at? How can I best use that? How can I do one thing but get 5 things out of it? Because I've been that person where I've had to deliver to 10 bosses, all had a different idea of what marketing was, all gave different hassles to me, and I was one person. What do you do? So I know from experience what it's like to have to juggle. So that's where, and our passion is to try and showcase an easier way to do that, so you get your results. That's the point. And look, we've only got an hour, and hey, it's been amazing, and we could share so much more. But there is a world outside the button, as much as we're slightly obsessed, and there is a bigger, wide world out there. And it's important to remember that, look at it like this, okay? In your business, you probably really have great control over those bottom 2 buttonholes, because that's you, what you offer and how you communicate. That's where you own that. Externally, we have other things that affect those people. Our clients and prospects are affected by other things, and we have to take that on board. So I think that's why it's really important. And when we were talking before, and I mentioned the one thing I didn't have on here that I might tell you, the thread that leaves products, okay, and goes to communication is content. So right at the very bottom of all of this is the content that we put out. But I haven't posted it yet. Please know there is a difference. I have prepared it. And it's that clarity and content that's going on between those bottom 2 buttonholes. That's all about, like, what am I saying and am I clear? But I haven't posted it yet. That's a different thread. And remember to split that down into 2, so we don't fall into that trap of going, oh my God, I've just got to post something on Facebook. We can step back and we can own that and feel empowered that we know we're in control of that product's buttonhole. We know where we're going with that. And it's just to take that step back and have that, as I keep saying, that kind of roadmap, if you like. And in terms of the power increases with this, the more we can try and get these double threads connecting. What that means in terms of purpose for your business, the top 2 threads, that's your business growth. That's your clients referring you, giving you work, and your prospects converting into clients. That's what we want. Yes. But how we get there is by following the process underneath, supporting it. This is what, okay? So that's just to show you one of the double threads at which, so that's all about growth, transaction engagement, these key commercial objectives. That's the purpose. That is the purpose. We're looking to achieve those powerful things in business, And so so hopefully I think I'm not one of these people that's overly conscious of time, but I only am in a way, because we have an hour and you're all busy people. So I just want to make sure we give you the best hour we can and capture as much as possible. So just kind of summarising where we are with that. We've defined it as these 4 areas, and it's then connecting them through those threads on an ongoing basis, and not feeling, say, within a quarter of a year, if we have not achieved all 12, no one's going in detention. It's not like, oh my God, my business is not, it's all fine. I think it's, we would always say, look, across a year, you kind of want to feel as though you've probably addressed that. And a year's a long time. I'm sure you will do it, less than that. But this is just here to sort of say, look, that's representative of a really great way to measure your marketing and how you are achieving that and having what we like to call, and we've said it recently, if you go to yoga, I don't know if I've got any trainers here or any health kind of companies, you go to yoga, I mean, quite frankly, my knees wouldn't last too long, if I'm being honest. I would have to take a mat. So we're kind of the yoga mat. We see ourselves in the terms of marketing, that supportive, look, you know, we're here to cushion this and to elevate you and to make this a healthy experience. So you know why we're doing all that we're doing. So yes, you know, we have our full workshop. We're all CPD guys here. You know, yes, we have that. We can unlock more of those threads for you. And we are proud to be accredited CPD provider. And that's undoubtedly underpinned, you know, our training offering without a doubt. We're also delighted that we are part of the Institute of Leadership and Management, and we have that additional accreditation. I think the power of accreditations and is fantastic. You know, we do, as I mentioned before, have our tech solution, My Marketing Button. And I did mention to Amanda, and she said I could very kindly do this, but after the event, you may find that you get a little discount code. I know we're not really promoting too much, but you might get a little discount code for the tech should you want to explore that. You know, we're just putting it out there. But it is our mission to make, I kind of think our goal is to say to any business, you can have a workable, accessible, deliverable, and motivational marketing plan that will show you and give you the purpose to what you're doing. It really can be done, and it is. You know, who knew it was a button? But My Marketing Button is our tech solution. So that's mobile and obviously and desktop, and you can quickly see there from the graphic, but it's about activity, and as you complete activity, threads start appearing. You can see, then you can actually see. The importance is for you to be able to see where you are, and it's having that visual to help underpin. And that takes us to, you know, the end of the presentation. I thank you for your time and interest, and would love, you know, any questions. Would it be easy for me now to stop sharing? Would that be probably best?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that okay?
So,
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much,
yeah.
Mags, for such a detailed, interesting perspective on marketing and the importance of putting that framework together against that idea of a button and the threads looping together. I absolutely love that. Does anybody have any particular questions for Mags at the moment as we look to finish up in the next couple of minutes? Nobody asking a question? I've got one question for you, Mags, which is under communications, you mentioned people, print and digital.
Yes.
Just wondered if you could expand on that a little bit further.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think certainly experience has shown us that right now, when people say marketing, I think we're in a world where we consider that to be social media a lot of the time. And it has its place. I really do. I'm a fan. And we work with some amazing digital companies. We're all out there. But I think from a business process, and marketing we've identified this morning is a business process, it's more than just that. You know, I think as business owners, you can see how you could really, you know, you can really own a really amazing marketing process. So the people, print and digital, the digital, yeah, that's your emails, your social media, your website, all of that side of it. There may be in your business still place and room for a business card or a leaflet. You know, print companies are still running, they are still trading. There's still space for printed literature. You know, you may have it to a less or more degree. I'm not for a minute saying you've got to go all out and get loads of brochures, but I think it's important for your business to look and see actually what do you need. If you, and when we've done our profiles, if we've identified these people are so, you know, Julie was mentioning employers. Okay, so they're employers, but employers in any particular sector. So where are they? What might affect them? Could they be motivated by a flyer? You know, it's looking again at that. And then your people is you, like today. So today's people. I know we're on Zoom, but it's people. It's the networking, it's the meetings, it's the face-to-face, it's the interaction. And it's just looking at what you're doing and being able to take a step back and not just rushing into something because it's perceived to be necessarily the latest thing. I think it's being able to step back and go, I've got all this information available. Let me explore what I feel is kind of right for me, and I can try that. then you are safe to take a step back and review that people, print and digital, depending on how that's gone for you, because you can, because you're supported with a framework. So your marketing, and comes back to what Sarah was saying before, you can actually keep going with quite amazing marketing if we see it as a bigger process. If we get into this mindset of it's just me posting on my social media, that can sometimes make us go, oh my lordy me, what am I doing here? What's this? Whereas if we see it as a bigger process, we can be doing other things that are effective to our business. Do you see what I mean? That makes life easy. And some quick wins. We're big fans of quick wins.
Okay, has anybody else got any questions as we start to draw this wonderful session to a close?
I'll add a little bit
Julie?
more.
Yeah, of course.
I've just updated my leaflets actually, and my business is called Safe Space Consultancy. So I've added to it a safe space to work kite mark, but I've also had some badges printed that say a safe space to talk, so that when I go out to networks or things like this, I can give people badges, and if they wanted to wear them, then it identifies them as somebody that you can come up and say, I need to talk to somebody, and they know that they've got a compassionate person that's going to listen.
That is brilliant, Julie. And it's a bit like when people go into a pub now, I think you have to say a name, don't you, at the bar or something?
Yeah.
And, I just think, Julie, you've got an amazing opportunity there, really, like from an education and leadership thing, to say to employers about the need to have it, because I just don't think people address it. I think
it's interesting, isn't it? Because I've been doing this for quite a long time now, and I think, and because of the pandemic, so much awareness happened around that, so it's much easier to talk to employers about it now than it was before the pandemic. But but because there was so much awareness, I think, oh, everybody knows why they need this. But when I have these conversations, it's really encouraging to hear you say that, because I know there's still room for me to do the work that I want to do.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think the role of a health and safety person in a business, I think, has massively changed.
Yes,
it's not just checking a flat upstate first aid kit in the corner. I think the role of health and safety in a business now embraces mental health in the workplace.
Yeah,
overall safety. I think there's all those elements, and it's massively expanded. And if I were you, I'd be really getting loads of articles relating to that, sharing that, and showcasing yourself as an absolute expert in your field, which you are, on the back of other articles that are out there in the media, and saying, look, guys, come on. And I think that's a definite case. I do think the role of health and safety has changed, because to me that falls under that umbrella. But
yes, it does. Yeah.
But anyway, gosh, fantastic.
I'm trying.
Margaret, I would like to, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Hi.
So I would say thank you. I've appreciated it this morning, and meeting people has been good. I'm a type of person, I like images and graphics that I can see and get in my head. So I think that was excellent for me, the buttonhole concept and all the threads, and that was great. And I could pick up some things that Julie said. My thing is, apart from my own profession, I write training carers, for the trust and things. That's my hobby kind of thing. And we're chipping away at that with training manuals, and CPD's been a massive help to me and bringing me on. So it's now that time to get it marketed. Now, a lot of people and clients would already know me and have done a bit for them. But I suppose with me, I want to do it all at the one time. And I see a bit here and a bit there, and that's all good. But this morning, I think I have to get into the buttonhole. I have to get it.
Yeah, just map it out.
A bit more. Someone said to me, Mary, what's happening? It's like, but you've got about 5 planes ready to take off on a runway, and they're all excellent, but you haven't any moving yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I've appreciated it.
Yeah, thank you, Mary, and that's lovely, and I'm really pleased. And whilst I know we haven't had it's not been the full 3-hour workshop, and we haven't covered it all, and I'm actually just going to direct this a little bit at you, Sarah, because you spoke a bit before. But in terms of what you said as well, it's like, what do I do first, and what's this and what's that? And for all of you this morning, it is a little bit like that. But that example I gave you of that guy, the conversation I had this morning, talking to me about what was going on, I said, you know what we're doing right now? We're doing the middle two threads that are cutting between our products and prospects. We're actually doing this market research thing, and we know it's coming into our products. So what that'll help us to do is to redo our content. And all of a sudden we're like, yep, that's where we are. And we all know. And it was amazing, just that clarity. And that's a working real life example, genuinely, of a conversation this morning, oddly enough, on my way in. And I think that's, so you feel as though you are still doing marketing, and then that motivates you to keep going. So we don't put it on the shelf. It doesn't gather dust. We keep going. And that's the key.
Can we get the printout of this? Because I was trying to scribble down bits of notes. Is that allowed? Can we get?
Yeah.
Okay.
Max, are you okay to share the slide deck with the?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Something else I just wanted to bring your attention to is that we are running a London-based event on Tuesday, the 10th of May. In a couple of weeks' time, and that is specifically also focused on marketing, PR and branding, and having a look at how you can best power your accreditation to really sort of infiltrate your market and build your overall industry presence. So in the follow-up, we will also send the link for you to be able to sign up. It's completely free of charge. It's a member-focused event. And it will continue the conversation on about the importance of, getting this marketing right. But this morning, I just want to say a huge thank you to Max. It's been a really insightful session, and looking at how all those threads come together, I think has really sort of helped some of us solidify a plan in our mind and help us think through what those steps are that need to be. So thanks ever so much for your contribution.
Yeah, thank you, Margaret.
Thank you so much. It's been a great morning, and thank you for your input, everybody, because that's what we're all about. Honestly, it's there, but it's all really it's you and your business, and we are passionate about that. So thank you so much.
That's all right. That's wonderful. So thank you, everybody. As I said, look out for the invite to the face-to-face event, and we'll look forward to joining you all on another webinar next month. So thanks again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll be in touch. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.